One of the greatest ways to measure how far you've come in your healing journey from narcissistic abuse or a traumatic, toxic relationship is the moment when you are no longer trying to diagnose, when you're no longer looking at people as being narcissistic or psychopath or sociopath or narcopath or any of the paths out there. Instead, you're able to look at people as just different. This is an important message, not only for your healing journey, but in how you view relationships in the future. Let's talk about this. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I continue, I want to let you know that I am here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. In addition to that, I have a brand new life coaching program where I teach every day, Monday through Friday, live with questions and answers, and it's only $49 for the entire month. You cannot afford to miss out on this coaching opportunity. And my coaching program is live. It's not some pre-recorded material that you got to watch reruns by yourself eating popcorn. You're actually going to be spending time with me every day. You could still eat your popcorn, but I'm going to be there with you. So get down there and get registered. There's all kinds of good stuff for you down below. And by the way, today is Halloween. And so I just got done taking the kiddos trick-or-treating. Hope you like the outfit. Now, we are talking about moving past diagnosing. First of all, why do we even diagnose? Why is it important? Because it is important in our own minds and in our own lives. It fills in this space when we finally realize that there is something different between us and these abusive people that we've experienced. And we don't know how else to articulate it. We don't know what else to say about it, but we run into topics and forums and Quora and YouTube videos and all the stuff that says narcissism or psychopath or sociopath. And suddenly we're like, yes, okay, I'm not alone. And there's other people that experience it. And it fills in this gap. It gives us a framework, a foundation to understand and to affirm that something was wrong. We were in a relationship and we experienced something that we can't describe. And being able to have these words like narcissists and psychos or what narcopaths or whatever is out there helps to fill in that gap. I was there. I couldn't get enough of watching those videos on narcissists. And now I make them, right? And I have been for a long time. But now let's talk about the problem, because this does come with side effects. And there's two that I want to talk about. The first one is that, well, everybody's using the term narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, and toxic. As a matter of fact, when I dealt with the narcissistic nonsense, if you will, with certain siblings back in California, I was called toxic. And over my 5 years of doing one-on-one coaching with people, I get countless calls of people saying, I feel like I'm the narcissistic one and they're crying, and am I the narcissist? How do I know? This is the problem with these types of diagnoses, because you even have abusive people out there throwing out this token catchphrase. You're a narcissist, you're abusive, you're toxic, you're this, you're that. And it confuses everybody. It confuses the real issue. It can cause you to feel, because people have attacked you, which, by the way, real narcissists do that. They're the ones that attack you personally. Just dropping that in there. But it can cause you to wonder whether or not you are the narcissist, whether or not you are the toxic one. Okay? And there's one more issue with this. If there's narcissists and psychopaths and sociopaths, then there has to be the counter to that, which is an equal problem, but a different problem. And so they have things like codependency. So yet again, even though you're looking at narcissists and psychopaths and sociopaths, when it comes down to it, you start to realize, well, I'm codependent then, because you can't diagnose without having the counter to that, the other part of the equation, so to speak, which is just as problematic. Because then I receive telephone calls from people all the time saying, I've got to work on my codependency. I'm a codependent. And listen, I get it. There's a lot of stuff that can be said about that, but I've made a video, and I'm going to attach it to the end of this one, that I make the bold statement that codependency does not exist unless you're in an abusive relationship. I look at codependent people and I see the most loving, giving, nurturing people who serve the communities, serve their churches, serve, give. Yet when they're in an abusive relationship, I'm a codependent because it's being taken advantage of, because their gifts are being used out of place. I'm not going to get too far into that. I'm going to post the video at the end of this one. So make sure you watch this video all the way through, and then at the end, click on that because it is a powerful video where I talk about codependency as being kind of a whack thing, a whack diagnosis that is just aimed at people who are already being punished by narcissists. Okay? So those are the two issues. So what do we do about it? Right? What do we do about it? For advanced healing from narcissistic abuse, for advanced healing in moving on and accepting yourself and accepting the reality of the world around you, here's what I believe and here's what I propose, right? Just for you and me, instead of trying to diagnose, which is just going to come back at you. You're toxic. No, you're toxic. I'm a codependent. I believe we address one of the biggest lies that we have been forced to believe, right? And that is that we are all the same. We are not all the same. Just because we are all human beings does not mean that we are all the same. Just because animals are animals doesn't mean they are all the same. Now, I've made this case before. But in the animal world, you have bears, you have deer, you have rats, and you have snakes. In humanity, you have bears, deers, rats, and snakes. Now watch this. And this is advanced healing, by the way. This is advanced. This is how you know you're ready to go back out into the world and find healthy relationships. Are you ready? In the wild, there is a place for bears, is there not? There's a place for wolves, is there not? There's a place for vultures, is there not? Think of the most disgusting creatures out there. There is a place for them. They perform a function. But now watch this. Within the animal world, although they have their own functions, they are not intimate with anything else other than their own kind. You do not see a bear and a deer intimate with each other. Listen, I hate to break it to you. The Disney movie Bambi is not real. You do not have deers and bunnies running around, hamming it up together. They stick to their own kind. They do what they do. They recognize the voice of their own and they stay with each other. That's what makes harmony in that ecosystem. You see, but with people, although we know deep down that not all people are the same, you have people that are like bears out there. You have people who are like deer. You have people who are rats. You have people who have snakes. And have I left out unicorns, by the way? I should not be leaving out unicorns. There are unicorns. Right? But the reality is that within human nature, we have to be able to understand and differentiate ourselves from people. We have to be able to recognize the voice of our own, which means you have to grow into acceptance of who you are. No more of this, I'm a codependent, I want to change that. No. Whatever you think it is that makes you a codependent was only forced upon you by abusive people, but you put it in a different context. For example, serving your community, serving at a church or something, or serving in a third world nation of starving children. It's no longer codependency. Your giving is actually providing. Amen. And listen, I'm going to say this for people who are violent and hostile. Right? In a relationship, intimate, where it's not understood, that violence, that hostility is bad news. But that violence and hostility focused and put in the army or military in a place or in a position of protecting a country, a city, a state, a nation, now it's serving a good purpose, isn't it not? So do you see how there is a place for all? It's not necessary to diagnose this and this and this and this. It's helpful, and we need it in the beginning to help differentiate us. But now we can just start to compartmentalize and view our relationships in this way. Are you ready? How intimate can we be? I need to observe and watch your behaviors, your mannerisms, to see how much alike we really are. And I'm not just talking about, well, do we like the same music? Do we like the same movies? Can we talk for hours about, how good how much Marvel Cinematic Universe has been tanking over the years or whatever dumb nonsense? No, I'm not talking about that, because anybody can mirror each other and start talking and nonsense. I'm talking about really observing and watching the mannerisms and the nature. Bears and deer and unicorns, they all observe the nature of the other ones. They can smell it, the different nature, and they stay away. We need to be able to do that with people. What's your nature? And then that is what we need to determine whether or not we can coexist intimately. I mean, we have to coexist with all these different things, right? Listen, we do share this world within human nature, within human beings. We share this world with people who are able to kill, steal, and destroy, right? The Bible says those people exist. We better believe it. We see it all around us every day. We better believe it. But you and I, we have to see where we fit into this equation in this world. We have to accept ourselves, and we have to be able to observe the nature of these people and know our distance from them. Doesn't mean we're not going to come across them. It just means we have to understand our distance. This is all it is, which debunks a lot of what Christianity teaches out there. Because Christianity, as well as public education or whatever else, says, no, we're all the same. We all need to unify. There's even political parties that say that, unify, we have to unify. You cannot unify. You might as well tell bears and deers and coyotes and hyenas and unicorns out in the wild, unify. You can't. It's why we're always at war. It's why the world is at war. There is no unification. The only unification is when you find your kind. You can unify with that. That's what unification is for. Even those of you who believe in the Bible, listen, the ancient literature makes constant references to people being as different as animals. Don't throw your pearls before the swine. Why do you think it says that? Because it's talking to a specific group of people saying, those people are so different from you, they might as well be like swine. Right? Don't be unequally yoked. And it goes on in the story saying 2 oxen are what move together. What's the message behind this? Know yourself, know your kind. We need to stop buying into the modern Western world Christianese stuff that we're all the same. This is why churches of today are filled with a mixture of psychopaths, sociopaths, criminals, whatever else. Everybody get along. You can't. They're not addressing the inherent differences. To each has been given a measure. The point for you in this message is you have to understand the measure you've been given. Know who you are. And it's not, this is how you know you're healed. You're no longer diagnosing they're narcissists, they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, they're narcopaths, they're histrionics, they're this and that because the clinicians say so. Instead, you're going to say, they're different, not what I'm looking for intimately. I can work with that in passing, but I have to know my distance from that. Listen, this is advanced healing. Even if you're not there yet, I just want to open your mind and prepare you for this because you're going to get there. And I'm here to help you get there, right? So down below, schedule some time with me. One-on-one appointments are available. In addition to that, coaching program is available for you. And it's a great time. We're together every week, Monday through Friday. Get down there, get registered. Now, before I go, as promised, watch this video. I'm going to post it right there for you. This video is going to help you to further understand exactly what I was talking about codependency. There is no such thing as codependency outside of an abusive relationship, okay? Watch this video, and I will be back with more right here on the Royal Week. Get down there and get involved.